knowing the Creator, knowing the purpose of your creation, knowing truth from falsehood can lead a person to hell or heaven, everlasting bliss or torture. So it's not something to play with, right? Let me give you an idea. A great creator who's not created himself, he's always been there and will always be there and knows everything and sees everything and created this universe, created the stars, created the suns, created us in that perfection that we have, evolved us to our environments, gave us the tools needed to get to what we need to eat and drink, right? So if an animal needs a longer neck, it is that Allah that helps that whole species grow. If an animal needs feathers, then it says that Allah that designed for them to have feathers, right? That Allah that designs your heart that beats without you even thinking about it. That Allah that made a pancreas that gives you insulin in perfect measure to the glucose that you need to break down, who designed all that. And He gave us a guidance, the Quran. You have the Quran? And here, inshallah, I'm going to give this to you as a gift. It's free for you, right? The words of that Allah translated into a language you speak so you can know what the purpose of your life is, right? What do you think about that message? Does it make sense?
If you got like mad questions, I beg you
ask your mad questions.
I have a terrorist question.
No, go ahead. So what do you think about the message I gave you?
I think it's a lot.
It is, but does it make sense?
I can see it.
Yeah. You can see it, good. You can see it making sense. Relax. There's no pressure on you. You don't have to do a PhD in Islamic studies or something. But just think about this. One God, no kids, no roommates, no power sharing, no it's my turn and your turn to run the universe kind of stuff, no 3-in-1s and 2-in-1s, ice cream flavors and all that. Just one great creator that created us with a purpose. Does that make sense? Yes? If it doesn't, tell me no, it's okay. But I think it makes sense. You think it makes sense?
I can see it makes sense, but it's still a lot.
It is a lot, but take it step by step, right? The fact that there is an amazing system in your body, your heart that pumps, your liver, your kidney, does it make sense that somebody would have designed that? No? What do you think? Okay, let's go back. Does it make sense that somebody designed this phone?
It does make sense.
Okay. Is this phone more complex than your body? Okay. So if it makes sense that the functionality of this phone was designed, wouldn't it make sense, or more sense, that the functionality of your body, the functionality of the universe, the oxygen that we breathe and carbon dioxide that we put out, and plants take that carbon dioxide and put out oxygen, it would make more sense that all of this definitely has a creator. Make sense? Yeah? I know when I say this, there is a voice whispering to kind of make you back away from it. Don't think I don't know about it, right? Why? Because there is what we call shaitan. And his whole job is to keep you away from the truth. But you have to let your inner faith, your fitrah, or your natural belief come through. You know it makes sense. We're not asking you to sign up to a cult or something. Relax. It's just about your belief. Muslims, we have a very natural belief. We have a very close relationship with Allah. It's not like the Church of England or Catholics, we gotta go kiss some Pope's feet or some weird stuff. No, this is all between you and your Creator, right? That Creator brought you here today. That Allah wrote for you to come here so you can hear the message. Now it's up to you whether you accept or reject, right? It's that a choice Allah gave people. Either they can accept or reject. But then there's consequences to every choice, right? Now, if this phone cannot come by itself, and we agreed you came as a more complex being, and if this phone had a designer, had a manufacturer, had a creator, then you have a designer, a manufacturer, a creator, right? That creator sent you a message, because imagine when you bought, I'm sure you have a phone, right? So when you bought your phone, when you opened the box, were there instructions inside? Right? Why? Because there are certain things you should and shouldn't do with your phone, right? Like if I want to bake an egg and I want to put this on my oven and throw an egg on top, what's going to happen to my phone? I'm not going to have it anymore. And I'm going to be out maybe 1,000 pounds or something, right? I don't know how much phones are out here, right? But the manufacturer tells you, hey, don't do that. Don't put this in certain types of heat, certain depths of water it can handle, some it cannot, right? Because the manufacturer, the designer knows best, right? And that's only intelligent. Imagine tomorrow if you design something new, a new technology, wouldn't you give some instructions with it, right? Because you're intelligent. But our Creator is more intelligent than us. He's the most intelligent. He's the most knowing because He created us, right? So that Creator is not going to leave you without guidance. And that guidance is going to come. Just like the Prophet Jesus, he brought a message to his people, not to worship idols, not to worship graven images, to worship none but one Lord, right? Just like that, before him, the Prophet Moses, peace and blessings be upon all the prophets, he brought a message to the people of Israel: don't worship golden cows, don't worship people, don't worship idols, worship the one God, right? Abraham, same message. Ishmael, same message. Go back, all the way back to Noah, to Adam, same message. From that time till the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon all the prophets, they all brought one message: worship the one true Creator, the one true Lord. Don't worship idols, don't worship people, don't worship prophets. Worship none but that one Lord and follow the Prophet of your time, right? Does that make sense? Imagine, what phone do you have right now? What kind of phone do you have? Android. Android?
6.
Okay, so it's a 6, right? Imagine if you have the instructions from the first or second one. Would that work with the 6th? No, because the 6th has new technologies, there are updates, right? There are things that have changed. So you always want to go with the latest and greatest, right? So now the messages that came over time came to the true prophets. But when people would hide messages, and when they would write things themselves and attribute it to God, then Allah brought the last final message. Wouldn't it make sense to follow the final one? Yes? All this makes sense to you, right? It fits, right? I know it's a lot to take in, relax. But if it makes sense to you, if you see it to be more common sense, you could say, than to think that a phone came by itself, or a human came by itself, or the universe came by itself, then what would hold you back from accepting such a beautiful message? Nothing? Good. You're on your way to the truth, right? Is there any question you have about Islam that would make you hesitant to be a Muslim?
Not that I can think of right now.
Don't be shy, relax. We don't get offended, right?
One of the conversations that we've got, I don't think I had it right. I don't have enough knowledge in it to kind of fully explain what our stance is, but with the LGBTQ kind of like
Sure.
that sort of stance of what we kind of deem as haram and what we deem as...
No problem.
Yeah, I think that's one of the conversations.
Do you have a question about that? I can answer it, no problem.
Not a specific question, really. Just maybe a general view of it. And
Sure.
why you say that it's something.
No problem. I got you. So, when we say that there is a Creator, right? And we agreed that that Creator is more intelligent than us. He knows us better than anybody else. He created us. He designed us, right? So that Creator knows better how we would function, right? So that Creator sets boundaries for us, right? Like, for example, Muslims, we don't allow drinking of alcohol. Why? Somebody might say, I just want to enjoy a little drink, right? But when people drink alcohol, then sometimes they get drunk, get in a car and hit kids, right? I'm sure you guys have drunk driving accidents in the UK. We got plenty in the US, right? Sometimes people get drunk, then they lose their mind and they punch somebody or they get in a fight and they end up doing something they shouldn't because they were drunk, right? Sometimes they end up sleeping with somebody they shouldn't and they regret it the next morning, right? So all these things we see as the evils that come out of drinking, right? So now Allah knew our nature. He knew that even if there is some good in alcohol, even if there is some people that can control it, as a society generally, the evils that come out of it will be a lot worse than the benefits, right? So Allah forbid that for us for our own benefit. That makes sense? Okay. So just like that, when we look at how a species procreates, how does any species procreate? What is the natural way for a species to continue? There is a male, there is a female, right? And then you got offsprings. Make sense? Right? Now, if we take that, this is a very natural behavior. If you switch it up and you put a male hyena with a male hyena, is the species going to procreate? Or a female hyena with a female, is it going to procreate? So the natural order is destroyed there, right? Now, I'm not talking about morality yet. I'm just talking about natural order, right? any species that at a large scale goes down that path and no longer reproduces enough to continue, the species dies out. Agreed? Right? And that's why in the natural kingdom, you can say, you may see some odd activities from some animals, but as a large basis, you will not find it. You will find that there are male lions and female lions, and that's how the tribe or the pride grows, right? When we see that natural method violated in an unnatural way, whether it is through any which way, you will find many other problems, even lubrication issues and ways, because you're using an unnatural method. You will now no longer be able to procreate the human race through that method, right? Knowing this, our great Creator, through all the scriptures, whether it's the Old Testament, you can read Leviticus, or the New Testament, you can read Romans, or the Quran, you will find it forbidden, right? Because this is not the natural way that our Creator designed us to be.